日本時間7月4日、ドジャースの山本由伸投手が本拠地でのパドレス戦に先発登板をしました。この日の山本投手は7回を無失点、10奪三振、3回以降はノーヒットピッチングと、今季メジャー最多に並ぶ13回目のクオリティスタートを達成する圧巻の投球で今季9勝目を挙げました。また、この日の大谷翔平選手は右上腕二頭筋の違和感もあり、完全休養日で出場せず。また、この日は、フィラデルフィアのシチズンズバンクパークで、オールスターの全出場選手が、米メディア、FOX スポーツで発表されました。そこでは、MLB レジェンドのアレックス・ロドリゲス氏が、6年連続6度目のスタメン出場が決まった大谷選手について語る場面もありました。ここからは、その様子を字幕付きでご紹介します。
World Series MVP Yoshinobu Yamamoto's heading to Philadelphia. His second straight All-Star nod. Oral Yoshi with 8 wins and a 2.67 ERA.
Well, when you pitch for the world champion, went back to back, and you're a significant part of that. Your reputation is already out there on the streets, but he continues to perform. His hot streak at the beginning of the year, the hot streak he's on right now. He is the ace of the best team in baseball, and so there's no doubt that he should be on this team. Hopefully, he's feeling good, maybe gets an inning, and shows people the talents once more on the national stage.
Boy, it suddenly got really loud here. Recapping the 5 Dodgers to make the All-Star team. Freddie Freeman hitting .293 with 14 homers, 47 RBIs. Max Muncy at a career-best .268 right now with 17 home runs, 39 RBIs. The 4-time MVP Shohei Ohtani, 18 homers, 50 RBIs to go along with his 8 wins on the mound and a 1.79 ERA. Andy Pages hitting .269 with 16 homers, 62 RBIs. And you see Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Tonight's starting pitcher has 8 wins, 2.67 ERA, and 90 strikeouts. And we all think Justin Robleski and Tanner Scott are certainly deserving of going to Philadelphia for the All-Star game as well. Jerry, but I'll begin with you. What's your reaction to the 5 guys who will be going to the Midsummer Classic, and maybe a little bit about Robo, Tanner Scott, and anyone else you feel like was left out?
Yeah, listen, obviously all 5 are well-deserving. You know, starting with Shohei Ohtani, who's the best athlete in the world in any sport. No disrespect to Messi in the World Cup, but what Shohei Ohtani's been doing the last several years, offensively, defensively, second to none. Freddie Freeman, we talked about Andy Pages as well. These guys are deserving. And listen, the Dodgers have the best record in the National League, and it's great that they have 5 All-Star selection. I'm hoping as we get closer to the All-Star game, that number climbs to 7, because certainly Justin Robleski deserves to be an All-Star, and also Tanner Scott.
It's an honor when you get selected as an All-Star. And you know what? Should be has his second time in there, but really it's only his first. But he deserves this to be number 2. Really think about this young man and how excited I am. You can look at Ohtani at 8 of them. You can look at Freeman at 10 of them. You can look at the other guys like Max Muncy. But today, I think the happiest people in the locker room are the teammates of Andy Pages. That is where their focus is. The other guys deserve it, and he deserves it even more.
Hey, John. Well, last night for Shohei Ohtani, after completing his 6 innings of work, then, of course, the 3 at-bats, he was taken out of the game. He was pinch hit 4 in the 7th by Miguel Rojas. So that did bring up a lot of question marks, considering it's not often or ever that we see that. When he spoke to the media afterwards, he shared that his right bicep, it tightened up after a second at-bat. He added that he only felt it when he was hitting, not when he was pitching on the mound. And Dave Roberts shared that they were going to keep him out of the lineup today. That has stayed the plan, but Dave Roberts did give an update on Shohei this afternoon as to how he's feeling.
Got treatment last night. Today feels considerably better. So obviously he's not in there to start, and we'll just kind of see how the day goes as far as availability tonight. I think I'm hopeful. Just if things trend the way that we would expect, that he'll be there tomorrow.
Did Shohei have any test scans?
No scans. I don't think so, given that he felt it swinging and he feels much better today. So I wouldn't say that, tomorrow when he plays catch, I wouldn't say that it would affect it.
At what point would you want to make the decision? You said that it's still on the table for him to skip that next one. At what point would you want to make that decision?
Well, I think the first step is how he feels tomorrow, and then the days, forthcoming. So we don't need to make that decision today, tomorrow, the next day. So we have time. And I think for us, it's just more of, reading and reacting on how he feels.
The good news when it comes to that right bicep, Shohei Ohtani shared yesterday that it's something that he experienced about a month or two ago earlier this season, and he didn't keep him out of the lineup. Dave Roberts even added that he wasn't aware that he was dealing with the bicep injury earlier this year or even just tightening up of it. So that's a good sign, although the fact that he's feeling better today, likely available off the bench and hopefully back in the lineup tomorrow. The question is still on the table as to what that next start is going to look like. He's scheduled to have one more before the All-Star game. That would be against the Diamondbacks next weekend. So that conversation still on the table if he's going to continue with that. They're hopeful that he will, but it is unlikely that he's going to be pitching in the All-Star game.
Oh, Dave Roberts told us last night that Shohei would get tonight off after he pitched and also was the DH last night. Shohei was dealing with some kind of discomfort in his biceps. Or it was good news from Dave Roberts today saying that Shohei was feeling a lot better, but it just seems like it's the prudent decision to have him sit this one out tonight and catch his breath.
It really is. And when you think about a pitcher and a hitter, you are playing with aches and pains all the time, but you can double the aches and pains for him because of double the workload. So they all are playing hurt. They just worry about hurt turning into injured. And that's what you worry about. And especially now, give him a day off. He's never been this age and done both things. So it is getting to a point where it is a little tougher. And I'm sure this is a great day off. I am so glad to hear that he's feeling better today, and hopefully he's back in there tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm glad that he is feeling better today. But again, we got to make sure he continues to feel better and better. And like Oral touched on it, him doing both. Being a pitcher, throwing 100 miles an hour, obviously he's got wipeout stuff. And oh, by the way, he's your leadoff hitter every single day. That is so taxing on the body. And we need to make sure that Shohei Ohtani feels good tomorrow. We got to make sure he continues to feel good moving forward and make sure he stays strong come September and October. So Shohei Ohtani needs to be honest with the staff and the training staff on how he feels, and hopefully he will be back in there tomorrow. But if not, that's okay too.
These world-class athletes, when you watch as fans, when they move, they look like they're doing it so perfectly, right? But they tweak themselves every single game, every single swing, every single pitch. There's something sometimes that goes out of whack and you go, oh, what was that? A nerve buzzes on you, a muscle kind of slightly pulls. But you find ways to keep doing it. So you've got to just watch these guys. And Jerry knows, even in batting practice, even in stretching, even doing your sprint work, there's always something that doesn't always feel the best.
Listen, Bo Jackson, my opinion, probably one of the greatest athletes of all time. Deion Sanders, Brian Jordan. These guys played football, a very physical and demanding sport. They all said the toughest season is the baseball season because, like Oral touched on it, you play 162 games. You got to post 160 times in about 181, 183 days. That is grueling. You got to remember, when these guys swing the bat, they swing it violently with a lot of effort to try to catch up to 100 miles an hour. So it's taxing on the body. Even though TV makes it look a lot easier, trust me, it ain't easy. It is work.
Yeah, it's tough enough if you're going to be a position player or a pitcher, but imagine what Shohei Ohtani is doing. 2 full-time jobs here with the Dodgers. Yoshinobu Yamamoto gets the start tonight, his first in July after having a great month of June. Yoshi went 3-1 last month, a 2.22 ERA. The whip was ridiculous, 0.64. 21 strikeouts, only 4 walks. And of course, he took a perfect game into the 8th inning against the White Sox, eventually lost his no-hitter in the 9th inning. This will be the 3rd time Yamamoto has faced the Padres this season. Had a tough luck loss or a 1-0 in San Diego in May. Then he beat the Padres last weekend at Petco Park. So what will you be looking for against the Padres in this 3rd start from Yamamoto?
Well, you hope he has his fastball location. You hope he gets into good pitcher's counts. But what I really think you're going to see with him tonight is he is going to lean on the split finger. The Padres do not hit that pitch very well, and his is one of the best in baseball. He can go at you with the curveball. He can come at you with his cutter or his slider. But the foundation of his arsenal is his fastball location, down and up when he climbs the ladder, and then coming out of the low fastball window, that split finger. And I think these Padres are going to have a lot of frustration tonight, losing those 2 come-from-behind games. And I think that, you know what? They're going to be hacking. And if he makes it look like a strike, end up a ball, he's going to do pretty well.
Absolutely. Obviously, when Yoshi has that fastball command, especially down in the zone on both sides, in and out, that really makes that split finger devastating because to the hitter, it looks just like a fastball at the knees and darts out of the zone. He'll mix in that breaking ball as well, and he's had success. You got to remember, though, the Padres have seen him an awful lot the last several years. You got to make sure to mix and match. I will say this. Sheets last time was on him. You know, Sheets took some really good swings, so I would take that in this start. If I'm out and rushing the catcher, I understand that Sheets got be pitching him a little bit more carefully this start.
Shohei Ohtani started last night's game, but he did not finish it. Let's check in with Kirsten, who has an update.
Yeah, Steven. So last night he got through with 6 innings of work, and then he actually was pinch hit 4 in the 7th by Miguel Rojas. And afterwards, he shared with the media that he felt in his second to last at bat last night, he just felt his right bicep tighten up a little bit. It's something that he has experienced in the past. So he's not in the lineup this evening. Dave Roberts wanted to give him a day off, but he is likely available off the bench late and should be back out there tomorrow. The good news with this is that it should not have any impact when it comes to the All-Star game, which is now around the corner. We know that he had the highest number of votes for the National League, and we now know that he's going to be joined by 4 additional teammates from the Dodgers. That's Andy Paez, Max Muncy, as well as Freddie Freeman. They have all been named starters in the National League for the All-Star game. And then there's Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He has also been named an All-Star for this year, guys.
5 All-Stars tied for the Major League lead along with Atlanta in Philadelphia. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto happens to be starting tonight, the same day he finds out he's an All-Star for the second time.
It's going to be a good night, Steven, and especially because he's playing against this Padres team that he's had good success again, hoping to replicate what he did in his first 2 appearances this year against the Padres. The first one, he actually got a loss because he didn't get a ton of run support, and those 2 runs in 6 innings pitched. Yoshi doing exactly what he does, giving this team length and providing a whole lot of great stuff.
Padres are hoping 3rd time's a charm against Yamamoto. Really good the first 2.
He most certainly was. 16 starter overall, 3rd time against the Padres this year. In the last 7 starts, he's been twirling really, really well. 5-2, you're going to get a lot of split fingers. The ERA at 1.70. He's got swing and miss with 3 pitches. He's that good.
I'm Mike Pomeranz with it. Really had hoped for a little better outcome, but you knew it was going to be tough sledding right out of the gate facing Yamamoto.
That's exactly right. You got a team that's struggling right now in the Padres. To your point, you're facing Yamamoto. He's been throwing the ball great of late, so it's going to be an uphill battle no matter what. I thought Yamamoto actually opened the door a crack. We'll talk about that in a moment. Padres were not able to take advantage. Close game, but unfortunately, Padres come out on the wrong side again, Mike.
Let's take a closer look at Yamamoto. Exactly what you see from him you thought was most impressive, aside from the fact the Padres did have a shot?
Well, I love the fact that he used his 2-seamer and his 4-seamer incredibly effective tonight. 4-seam fastballs for strikes 7 out of 8 times. He used the sinker as well like that. He's running it in on the right. He's down and away on the left. He's up and down, up and down. He used the split finger and the slider and the cutter as well, but he didn't really throw those for strikes. He was 80% strikes with the fastballs, Mike. He was about 50% on the cutters and the sliders, but he didn't need to throw a ton of strike with those pitches because he was getting hit with the fastball. He could use those other pitches to expand the zone. So it was really a clinic in terms of how you use your fastball to get ahead, moving it up and down effectively, and then not putting pressure on your breaking pitches. It was just really a stellar effort on his part.
I really liked your report in game talking about the only way you can get to Yamamoto is to get somebody on early. But even when you have it, the stuff is so filthy, it's hard to barrel up.
Yeah, so the topic was, and I appreciate you bringing it up, that when you score on Yamamoto, basically you've got to do it by getting that leadoff man on. And the 29 runs that he's allowed this season, 21 of them have come when the opposing team has gotten their leadoff man to start the inning on base. Once you do that, you got him out of the stretch. You can put a little bit of pressure on him. That's about the only way that you're going to score. 21 of the 29 runs that have been scored off him so far this season happened in innings where they were able to get the leadoff man on base against him. The Padres did that. Yeah. They did it in the first inning and the second inning as well. So at first I thought, okay, here's our opportunities. We got that leadoff man on. Let's see if they can get something done. Unfortunately, they let those opportunities slip by, and they weren't able to do it the rest of the night.
Freddie, ahead of this game, you were named to your 10th All-Star game. So first and foremost, congratulations. So what does that just mean to you, to be named a starter for the National League?
Yeah, it's amazing. I just want to say thank you to the fans for voting me in. It's special. Every All-Star game. It's a special one to go to. Get to have a family picture and do all that kind of stuff. So I know my boys are happy. I would say my girl too, but I don't think she knows what's going on yet. So I know it's going to be awesome. 10 All-Star games. I couldn't ask for a more special experience. Yeah.
And you guys got to just kind of tap it up with the win tonight. Let's start with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. What were you seeing from him in those innings of work and then including the 10 strikeouts?
Yoshinobu is Yoshinobu. I mean, he's one of the best pitchers in the game. He can put the ball where he wants. He had everything working. High velo, high command. He's just special to watch every 6-7 days sometimes. But he had everything going tonight.
To give him the run support, you had a 2-hit game tonight. But let's start with the home run. Saw him on that third pitch. What were you just looking for?
I was looking something up. I had the opportunity in the previous at bat that I didn't get the job done, so I felt like I needed to do something, and I got into a hitter's count, and I know it was a sweeper thing, but I was able to get it up and put a good swing on it.
And you did talk about the pregame show, and you touched on at the top of this show about Yoshinobu Yamamoto, how he has 4 pitches, 5 pitches, maybe 6 pitches that are great. And when they're all working, I mean, good luck to the San Diego Padres, because tonight he seemed like he had pinpoint command and had control of all those pitches.
Yeah, when you watch Yamamoto and he has all of his pitches and you think about what is going on with the San Diego Padres, well, I think fans at home know the red zones and the green zones as far as like where hitters can hit the ball real well and where they don't. Well, if you want to know the scouting report on the San Diego Padre hitters, just watch the game tonight. He's going and attacking all their red zones. He doesn't struggle with location tonight. He doesn't struggle with changing speeds. He doesn't struggle with putting them away. Well, why? Because he knows from the scouting report, all the red zones, he knows every one of his pitches are locked in for location. So he just attacks in places where they can't hit. And you know what? If a pitcher has one of his pitches, you can compete. And if he has 2, you can start to work on the scouting report. When you have as many as he did tonight, he's just tearing them apart.
Looking at those swings, these are good hitters. And I just saw Cronenworth chase that high fastball, and I saw his reaction. I've been there, because you walk into a game, and probably his last start, he chased a high fastball. I go, I'm coming here, and I'm going to face Pedro Martinez, and I'm not swinging at the high fastball. What I do, I swing at a high fastball, and you're so upset. But remember, and I said it on the pregame show, when you're facing Yamamoto, when you're facing Earl Hershiser 1988, Pedro Martinez 1999, they have 6, 7 type of pitches. Yeah, maybe 3 or 4, but they can shape certain pitches different ways, different parts of the plate, and that's what makes them a nightmare. That comeback cutter to Cronenworth,
Yes.
3-2. Are you out of your mind?
What did Cronenworth say? He said something like, you got to be kidding me.
You got to be kidding. Again, he has 4 or 5 pitches, but he pitched to all 4 quadrants of the strike zone, nothing in the middle of the plate. So to the hitter, it feels like he's got 9, 10 different pitches. Hitters hit mistakes. So you're hunting middle of the plate or something in you could drive. For him to live on the corners and have complete command of all those pitches, and I said earlier, it's a nightmare trying to square up Yamamoto.
We can highlight the split finger. We can highlight the high fastball and the velocity. The highlight tonight for me with him is all of a sudden he hasn't thrown a curveball or a cutter for 15, 17 pitches, maybe even 2 innings sometimes, and he can pull the trigger on a pitch that he just pulls out of his back pocket and executes it perfectly. That is so hard to do.
Yoshi, you've been named to your second All-Star game. Just first, congratulations. What does that just mean to you personally?
まず、オールスター選出、今年もおめでとうございます。山本さんにとってオールスターに選出されるというのはどういう意味を持ちますか？
本当に心からすごく光栄に思いますし、去年参加させていただいて、ますます、その喜びというか、そこにいられる嬉しさを感じたので、今年も、選んでいただいて、すごく嬉しく思います。
It's been such an honor to be selected on that All-Star team, and I was there last year, and then this year I feel like more like a meaningful and a happiness this year.
With your outing today, the 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, just what do you think led to the success you had on the mound and navigating through their lineup?
今日、7回シャットアウトの10奪三振、そこ良くなった要因っていうのはどこにあると思いますか？
ストレートも、変化球もすごく強いボールが投げれてたと思いますし、しっかり納得いくフォームで、力を込めて投げれたと思います。
All my stuff was good. Fast ball, all speed, everything was working out pretty well. And then also my mechanics, I was pretty much satisfied.
What makes this All-Star selection so meaningful?
このオールスターに選ばれたっていうことが、山本さんにとって今おっしゃったような、そういう光栄な意味とか、そういう意味があるっていうのはなぜですか？オールスターに選ばれて。
さっき言ったように、去年も参加して、その特別さも、嬉しさも、味わいましたし、また今年もそこにいられることを嬉しく思います。
Like I said, I was there, and then I felt meaning of time, and then happiness, and then honor last year. So I I tasted it last year, and then going back there, that's why it's me.
I think one comment in there, Oral said everything you really needed to know. And Yamamoto saying, all of my stuff was good tonight.
Would Shohei have been available had there been a spot where?
No, we were going to have him down tonight, regardless. But I do expect him to line up tomorrow.
Is he doing it baseball?
No, nothing baseball related tonight.
Freeman hitting 293 with 14 home runs, 47 RBIs. That was before tonight's game, by the way. Max Muncy currently a career best 268, 17 bombs, 39 ribeyes. Four-time MVP Shohei Ohtani, 18 home runs, 50 runs batted in to go along with his 8 wins and a 1.79 ERA. Andy Pages at 269, 16 homers, 62 RBIs. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, tonight's starting pitcher, now has 9 wins and has an ERA of 2.49 as we can update that to go along with 100 strikeouts.
Yamamoto great all season long, but what was it like watching him out today?
Great his whole Dodger career, his whole Japanese career. He's just a great pitcher. He really is. He's special. When you have that kind of velocity on your heater, splitters at 93, 94, and you can put the ball wherever you want in the strike zone. It doesn't matter how hard you throw if you hit spots. Hitters can't hit it. He's a special pitcher. I'm glad he's on our side.
Yamamoto threw a good game. He's a good pitcher. We've been battling pretty hard offensively and doing a little bit better today. Not the case. He kind of shoved it against us, and it's one of those days. It sucks that it's in this time frame where we're struggling as a team, but we got to pick up the pieces and bounce back tomorrow.
What did you think of the 2-4 thing challenges? Obviously, neither went our way.
Yeah, neither went our way. We've been trying to be a little bit more aggressive. We had a stretch there where we were just leaving challenges on the table. Definitely, against a pitcher like Yamamoto, any strike that you can get turned your way, get a base runner, could turn the tide of the game. That was kind of our strategy today. There's no use holding them back, and unfortunately, they just didn't go our way.
Dave Roberts, manager of the National League All-Star team. I'm Chris Myers, and from the lawn behind it, that's Independence Hall, where the Declaration of Independence was signed on this day, 250 years ago today. Well, thanks for being with us. We're going to announce all of the All-Stars, the starters first, then the reserves, and then we'll get to the pitchers as well. The leading vote getter, no surprise, Dontrelle, Shohei Ohtani. Designated hitter role. He could do anything. He does everything. He'll lead the National League.
The best player in all of baseball, a two-way guy. He's hunting for that Cy Young, but he's also in the back of his mind trying to win 4 MVPs, and it'll be good now.
The National League starters, Freddie Freeman, his 10th All-Star appearance. Max Muncy, since he fixed that stigmatism in his eye last April, 4th best OPS in the National League. C.J. Abrams will be the first Nationals/Expos shortstop to start an All-Star game in franchise history. And Juan Soto, despite the year the Mets are having, he's having, Dontrelle, an outstanding season, leading the NL in OPS. So let's bring in 14-time All-Star and an Emmy Award winner this year with Alex Rodriguez. And Alex, it's great to see you. And by the way, Ohtani, only Bonds has more MVPs in the history of the game. He could win a Cy Young this year. We know he's here because of his hitting, but he's had an outstanding season pitching as well.
Yeah, Chris, first of all, happy 4th and 250 years to you and my buddy D-Train. D-Train, you said it best. This guy's the ultimate competitor, and he's the ultimate unicorn. To think that he's going to go for his 5th MVP and his first Cy Young, this is the best version of Shohei Ohtani we've seen, which is pretty scary to say.
And since he has joined the Dodgers, he leads the National League in home runs. Earl Hershiser, the great Dodger, owns the overall record as we like. Nice to see some names. Max Meyer, Chase Burns, some guys. Of course, Mason Miller, you expect him to close things out as the National League has its way.
He's going to be in the back end, but Chase Burns, a talented young arm, is some serious firepower in the National League as well.
To Yamamoto from the Dodgers, Paul Skeens for the Pirates, and of course Chris Sale. The Braves got off to that great start. They had cooled a bit, but still hanging on, leading the Phils in the East.
Chris Sale, this is his 10th All-Star game. Super proud of him, and he says I'm his favorite pitcher. I said you got to work on your heroes, Sale, but this is a talented veteran and also with some talented young arms as well.
Shepherding the National League in that All-Star game. You got some Phillies and Dodgers out here. The fans want more Phillies, but I know how that goes, David. Speaking of which, you got great pitchers to choose from to start the game, and I know you'll make that decision. What goes into your thinking when you got a guy like Sanchez,
of course, you have Ohtani, Mizorowski, but he's a hometown guy, Philadelphia, and he's put up the numbers he has. Does that figure into your equation at all?
It does. It does. And obviously, there's a lot of ways to look at it. You know, there's a hometown bias, a home team bias, obviously with Shohei. But kind of depending on, you know, where he's slated, if he pitched or not, we don't know that. And then you look at the hometown, the host team, and obviously Christopher's had a huge couple years and having another great year. And you want that for the home team. And then you also got Jacob, who's obviously had a great first half. So I think you can make no wrong decisions. And sometimes, you know, in this position, somebody's always going to be disappointed. But I kind of look at it as just no wrong decision.
Dave D-Train here. You have managed Hall of Famers and All-Stars. Do you find yourself in awe of what Shohei Ohtani can do day to day, being the best player on both sides in all of baseball?
I stand in amazement, watch in amazement every day. D-Train, he's like two separate people. You know, on days that he's hitting, he's more jovial, easygoing, and he's the best hitter on the field. And the days that he's pitching, you've got this kind of killer, intense focus, determination when he pitches. And then to be able to like separate the two and do that, you know, on days that he pitches and every day as a starter, it's pretty miraculous. And I marvel at it. And we're all very lucky to watch him play.
And we are lucky to have you join us. Good luck the rest of the season All-Star game. Thank you very much, Dave. You have a happy 4th of July.
All right, Chris, take care. Happy 4th.
Okay, Dave Roberts for being with us. By the way, Ohtani not in the lineup. Precautionary measure tonight.
いかがでしたでしょうか。このチャンネルでは、日本人メジャーリーガーなどを中心に野球情報をお届けしています。この動画が良かったら、高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。今回も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。